Matt, you're a troll. You're a horrible human being.
Matt
just asked what controllers they use. I mean, that was you. You asked us. You were like, "Hey, do they use scuffs in Counter-Strike?"
I
looked at
that.
Matt.
I said you should ask that as a joke.
This is a keyboard and mouse game. Like, this is PC. They don't use controllers, Matt.
I was like, you should come back and ask Dust. I'd be like, Dust, what kind of controllers does Michael L use?
You are so lost, bro. You're so lost. No controllers in Counter-Strike.
No, none.
Of course. Can confirm, no controllers.
Confirm, nobody uses a controller.
Obviously, we're recapping the XGames in Aspen. The Counter-Strike played there was phenomenal. It was one of the best events that I've had the privilege of watching, or at least trying to watch, as we kind of sneakily watched as much as we can on the right-hand side monitor. We just kind of recapped the group stages. And then, of course, we get to the semifinals. Semifinal number 1 was LDLC versus Team Dignitas, and it ultimately finished 2-1, Dust. Was that closer than you thought? I mean, LDLC took the win, but was that closer? Were you surprised that Dignitas took a map?
I mean, we didn't really talk about Dignitas, I guess, a lot coming into the game and coming into the show, at least when we got into group play. So just to kind of really recap Dignitas to kind of understand where they were at and where we thought they'd be versus like an LDLC in the semifinal, is this team was like notorious, like early in 2014, for always being able to make it to semifinals, but like choking, like in the sense that their star players like Device and company would just, for whatever reason, once they got to a semifinal match, they just wouldn't perform to the same level as what they were known for. They were also notoriously known for being really good CT-sided teams, like Nuke, Mirage, from these other maps. On their CT side, they were just absolutely phenomenal, almost always consistently able to, you know, put up 11+ rounds on the CT side. But the downfall of that is twofold. For one, they had to get that many rounds on CT side because their T sides would always be so poor, in the sense that they really had to have those 12 or so rounds on CT to have a chance to win the game, it seemed, because their T sides just weren't coming together.
Makes sense.
And the other big thing coming into this tournament is they actually lost their in-game leader, Fetish. He actually was removed from the team, and they brought in Kerrigan, who had been playing for Mouse Sports and then a couple other Danish teams prior to that. And this is actually the first LAN event that they played in with Kerrigan as their in-game leader. So it was like a big question mark. I mean, this team came into the event probably 6th or so place in the world rankings if you're to place them somewhere. They used to be a top 4 team when they were making semifinals, but coming into this event, they had some rough finishes way outside the top 4, which they were used to be known for. I mean, they were placing like 5th or 8th place at ESWC, you know, just not really at the level they used to be. Whereas LDLC is like clearly this number 2 team in the world. So everyone kind of thought LDLC would take this. So the first map was Dust 2. And LDLC are on the CT side. The first half of the game, they go up 12-3. So this is kind of, you know, an allusion to Dignitas having a tough time on T side getting rounds. So we go into the second half, and, you know, Dignitas did fight back to a degree. They even at one point got the game like really close, like 13-10. But then, you know, LDLC just closes out the game 16-10 on Dust 2. And so that was expected, I guess you could say. There was no real surprise there. But then we go on the map 2, and that's when kind of the shocker happened. So we go into Inferno as the second map, and this is a map this is LDLC's best map.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that going into that.
Yeah, Inferno, this is LDLC's best map. The only team better than them at this map was Fnatic, because Fnatic was best team in the world, so their best map was Inferno. That's really one of the reasons why it was so tough for LDLC to finally take the #1 reigns, because their best maps were also Fnatic's best maps. So it's kind of like they were just getting outmapped, essentially, is kind of like a good way to sum it up in a sentence. But so we go on the Inferno match with LDLC and Dignitas, and we think, okay, this should be a clear 2-0. This is LDLC's best map. Dignitas, you know, still struggling on their T sides a bit. You know, this just should be like kind of a cakewalk. And LDLC come off to a really big lead. They were up, you know, 5-0 at one point or something like that. So they were doing really, really well. But then all of a sudden, like, something just clicked for Dignitas, and they're able to stream some rounds together. Eventually, the first half ends 8-7. So kind of crazy.
8-7 in favor of Team Dignitas?
Yes, at the end of the first half. Granted, this was from Dignitas CT side. They only won 8 rounds from CT side, so that's actually not that good, but at least it's a close game. And then, you know, LDLC now come on their T side. They're able to win pistol to tie off the game 8-8, and you're thinking, all right, here's where LDLC is just going to go ahead and start taking the game from the CT side. But I mean, just Dignitas just fights back, man. Just keeps going at it and just keeps getting rounds. They get some good B takes to tie up the game, and it goes like 11-11, 12-12. Like, it's just back and forth. And then at one point, LDLC take the lead back. They're up 14-12, and then just out of nowhere, Dignitas closed the game with 4 rounds in a row to win the map, and it was just insane. And you know, I would have to say that one reason why this happens is Dupree was just absolutely huge on their B site entries towards the end of the game. He was just entering sites with ease, and just kind of, you know, really opening up the map for Dignitas. And the other big aspect that people kind of point to is LDLC just didn't look right. They're so known for being really good on the CT side of Inferno. In fact, they had just beaten Fnatic on Inferno in group play in like this crazy one-sided game. I think they won 16-6 or something like that with, like, you know, a really dominant play. And for this to happen, it almost looked like LDLC just kind of choked. It was really weird to watch.
Is that ultimately what you would put it down to? Just a bit of a choke, bit of pressure?
I think so. I mean, I don't know if it was pressure that caused them to choke, but they just didn't look right on CT side. It just wasn't characteristic of the player used to seeing from them. But to Dignitas's credit, like I said, Dupree and some of their big name players are really stepping up and making some good plays from the T side. So
nice.
All of a sudden, we got ourselves a series, I guess you could say. Yeah. Or at least we thought. At least we thought. Because then it goes to map 3, which is Cash, and LDLC just absolutely decimate them. They beat them 16-5. It was It was kind of a very anticlimactic end to what looked like a good series after watching the first 2 maps. Yeah. It was just kind of a slaughter fest, and so that's kind of what happened in that first semifinal.
Right, but the other semifinals, that was a bit of an upset.
Yes.
You know, NiP takes it over Fnatic 2-1. Fnatic,
I'm a huge NiP fan.
You're a huge NiP fan.
I'm a huge NiP fan.
Fnatic, I think, came in probably, you know, viewed as the favorite overall.
Going into that semifinal, I would pretty much say everyone would have thought Fnatic would have taken it, but NiP went up 2-1. Dust, talk us through that semi-final. What really happened, and why is it that NiP were able to cause the upset?
It's tough to say. I mean, when you looked at the map draw, when it went down to the veto process that takes place, because, you know, basically each team vetoes a map, then each team picks a map, then there's another series of vetoes before it's like a random draw for the third, basically. Or they just kind of keep going back and forth.
Right.
And it wound up being that the map rotation was going to be Cash, Inferno, Mirage. And, well, Fnatic's the best team on Inferno, so you think that they're a lock to win that one, and map 2 for sure. If it does somehow come to map 3, Fnatic is also probably the best team on Mirage at this point, so they're probably a lock to win that as well. And it's really Cash, this map they're also very good on. So it's not their best map or their second best map, but it's still in their map pool of maps they're pretty good on. And, you know, Fnatic just looked like such a better team, you know, in 2014 in comparison to NiP, just how dominant they were to take all these first place finishes at these big tournaments in Europe. And it just looked like this was kind of a no-brainer. Like, even though NiP had a great DreamHack winner performance and they looked, you know, pretty decent in group play, it just, everyone thought that Fnatic should 2-0 this, really, if we were to really think about it. But that was just all but the case. This, like, I know this is like kind of personal opinion, but I honestly thought this was the best of 3 we saw at the event.
Really?
I guess, like, of course, the grand finals is always like kind of the cool thing to watch because it's the first place. But if you're really to break it down like round by round and how close the games were and how much of a back and forth struggle it was, I think this was the best game to watch. Like, I'd highly recommend watching it versus Fnatic if you're going to go back and watch the VODs. This was one of the most interesting series of the whole event, if not the most. We started off on Cash, like I said. NiP is able to win this map 16-14. It's just so back and forth. If I could talk about it round by round, I could go on for hours. It was just so insane to watch how close this game was. It was just so crazy. I mean, like I said, definitely go back and watch the VOD at this. We're kind of crunched for time, so I can't talk about every single round, but it was just an insane game. And then we went on to Inferno, which Fnatic was like the shoe-in to win, and they did win, but it was only 16-14. Very, very close game. It wasn't like a very comfortable win, not the comfortable win you'd expect Fnatic to be able to get on Inferno against a team like NiP. Though I think NiP thinks Inferno is probably their best map as well, so maybe it wasn't as much of a surprise. But yeah, just barely were able to eke out NiP, I guess you could say, on their best map, which was kind of shocking. So then we go on to map 3, which is Mirage.
Yep, all tied up.
And, you know, tied up 1-1 map series. And the game you know, goes very back and forth. It winds up being 9-6 first half. Fnatic was able to get a 9-6 lead from the CT side. This isn't really the best position to be in. You kind of want like 10+ rounds on your CT side at Mirage in the current meta of the game. But 9-6 is still respectable. But it comes down eventually to an 11-11 game, a tie. Woo. And it's really, really heated. And I think we actually now have some video to show you the last round.
We do. Very, very close game, as Dust was just saying. We can actually throw over to the second so far. I'll have some VOD for you guys watching at home. Hope you guys enjoy. Very, very close game. Let's take a look.
He does not.
Got a good spawn for...
I'm still hesitant to say these things out loud. As a player, I don't want to give anything too much away, but the soundproof boosts are stopping it, I hope. But, yeah, this is going to be huge for them if JW is able to make something happen early.
Usually you can catch the mid AWP as he sees nothing on mid, then looks towards
But there's still a gap in that
smoke. friberg going to take it to Crimps, though, as JW has to pull back because of the smoke. Sometimes players do tend to like flash through and push it, but Michael is still watching over middle, ever vigilant with that AWP of his. That's a nice underhand smoke there, and this is what we're talking about, in fact. Exist did actually push JW there, so that's the AWP out of play here onto the A side of things. Great movement there from Exist. Burning Olofmeister alive as well. Fnatic losing man after man, one after another, all across the map. And Get Right in a good position. Fronax, he was ready for it, but Get Right gets the execution there. And Get Right is even trying to cut up the bodies here. He means business. And NIP look really happy. friberg see nothing but the banana grin across his face all match long.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just got to remember, have a good time. I mean, if you get too caught up into extra thoughts, it doesn't really help you out. So I'm glad to see NIP staying so strong here.
All right, so Michael with a quick push there onto Connector. We're going to see that this is a nice setup here across the board for NIP, but the set play from Fnatic could, of course, be quite devastating if they're able to get up onto position very quickly. NIP so far have been really good on kind of anticipating what's going on and getting in front of it. But Fnatic going to be very patient this round. They do have a lurker, Ever Flusher, of course. And we'll have to see now if NIP can hold these angles here. This is a true test of your Mirage defense rounds like this. So we're going to see Fnatic just abiding their time. Ever patient. In goes the first smoke there towards Shadow. Exist ready with the counter flashes. It's very important now that NIP throw in some flashes for Exist. We are going to see him move up. Gets completely destroyed there by Pronax as he goes up the ladder. Great entries here coming in from Fnatic. Michaelelli though, good frags from Michaelelli. 2 key shots as Fnatic storm the site. Still advantage for them though, as now GetRight's going to make his way through. Pop flashing himself into jungle. It's a 2-on-3 now thanks to Michaelelli. Still alive, but we have seen Fnatic disperse now away from the bomb. NIP now have to find the players. Michaelelli going to go for the jump. Does spot the frag onto JW. It's another one. Get Right comes in as well. There is the defuse. Get Right, all he has to do is cover Michaelelli, and the round can be won here. There it is. Goes for the shot as Olofmeister peaks, and that's going to be it. 14 rounds now. 14 rounds for NIP as Fnatic stay on 11. They can't seem to find an answer. It's starting to look hopeless for them.
My heart started beating fast there. I don't know how Michaelelli got all those kills, but it was awesome for him to creep into the site with that, take that risk to get in there. Get Right, showing a lot of patience to kind of lurk and make sure he covered his teammate. Great play by NIP here.
Performing under pressure. Really huge frag set from Michaelelli. That's the player that you need on your team to perform in the moments where it really matters. And we've got the full AK buy coming in here from Fnatic and Alden A's as well. So still looking for the answers. It must feel as if nothing's working at the moment. Oh, wow, Get Right just sprays one down through the smoke. And that is really gutting there for Fnatic. This is a true test of their composure.
Yeah, lose your strat caller that early in the round is definitely not helpful.
Get Right finds another one there. That's the bomb dropped as well. Get Right pushing aggressively now. And that's going to be key information for his team. They're going to start rotating. friberg does see JW. Good stuff there from JW to get the frag, though, as he falls back very exposed there in middle. but they have to reclaim the bomb. This is a really nasty position to be in. And it's evenly smoked off here. NIP setting up base by that bomb. Forest lurking now as well. And he goes on the angle, does spot Grims, takes him down, spray comes out, but the trades are good as NIP had all the time in the world to get the players behind that bomb. And now it's on Olofmeister to stop match point here for NIP. Olofmeister under so much pressure to perform. The all-rounder for Fnatic, gonna find the first one-on-one, gets taken down by Get Right, and there you go, Get Right, man of that round. Awesome aggressive push there.
It's really hard I'm sure, for Fnatic to say what they want to do because they've run all their standard strats, and it seems like they're just getting unlucky in small parts, but also getting outplayed. So I don't know what Pronax is going to say here, but they are going to go for it with no other options. No, their money's looking broke. They got just enough to maybe do what seems like the impossible at this point.
Round for round, that's going to be the... Oh my goodness, through the smoke as well. How many frags are they going to find through these smokes? NIP off to a good start here, but Fnatic fighting back. Here we go, as they are going to make their way back in now. Exist, smoked off there on CT spawn. Fnatic fighting tooth and nail now to try to make something happen. Man advantage. Exist has a good beat on where the planter is, but Michael getting another kill through the smoke. What is this that we're seeing from this man with the AWP? Get Right coming in again. Everybody seems to be on fire right now for NIP now as 2 players are left standing. Olofmeister and Flusher. Bomb. He planted. There it is now. And Get Right is locked away. Olofmeister kill onto Exist. It's a 2-on-2 now. Let's Get Right. This is a really tough position. He'd do very well to find his way through this spot. Gonna go for it, but too easy there for Flusher. Michael, can he do the impossible again? Coming in with the P250. Oh my goodness, how does he find the header there? And it's gonna be the frag. Olofmeister gonna put that round right for Fnatic. And we're gonna have the Fnatic camp still focused, still with a chance to bring it to overtime. But we've seen this position here before. Before it was NIP fighting back, but now it's all on Fnatic from the T side.
Such great play by both teams. Even though Fnatic's losing this match, they're still showing great responses to each kit frag that's going down. Yeah, not much else for me to say here, except we got to see if Fnatic can continue this.
Well, we are going to see an auto sniper there on Exist, as that's going to make a big deal on the defense for A. Michael also looking on those shots through the smoke again. Doesn't get quite so lucky this time. Freiberg locking down connector. As the movement does come in from Fnatic, they try to take mid control now. Freiberg going to evacuate the connector a little bit. As far as lurks. There it is, gets the one-on-one. Flusher goes down. Didn't have anyone near him to trade. So that's a clean kill there for NIP. So you have now a man in connector, so it will help them make the play either towards A or B. Always going to give them some options here, but Michael ever vigilant again, as NIP still a man up.
At this point in the round, Fnatic's just trying to look for the opening. They got a player here and that's able to gather a lot of information, but they still don't know exactly where the sniper's at, and this could be detrimental.
Oh, JW, great response there, so fast on the trigger. NIP are looking good though, thanks to Freiberg. Michael comes in, but JW, he's got answers, but it's now JW against the world. 3 players to find. Freiberg gets the kill, 16-12, and against all odds it would seem, NIP somehow make it work. They bring it back on the 3rd map again.
So there we have it. That concluded the semi-finals. Yes. Of course, that set up a Team Dignitas versus Fnatic bronze medal match, and of course a gold medal match consisting of Team LDLC versus NIP. And we have all that action coming to you after this next commercial break. Be right back.